here. So we got the Dakota all done, all finished. Got it back from Premium Car Wraps in Twin Falls, Idaho. It was last Friday, I think. Yeah, last Friday. They did a killer job. So I posted it up on Facebook and stuff, and I've been getting a ton of questions about the Dakota. So I figured today we'll go out and do a little walk around. I'm in south of Oakley, Idaho right now. We got a few spots that I have in mind, like going out northern Utah, northern Nevada. It's not too terribly far, and there's some cool stuff out there. So we'll head out there, kind of get set up and show you guys around. But I'm on my way out right now. See if I can flip this thing around, show you where I'm at. The smoke is pretty terrible today, but we'll do the best we can. Just cruising along. Anyway, I guess since we're doing this, I could show you a little bit of the inside. I got just kind of a cheap tablet from Verizon, so I use to do my navigation on. Currently using Gaia GPS. They're kind of my favorite. And then just kind of a cheap old radio too. It works pretty good. My kids love it because it has the DVD player in it, so we'll bring movies along when we're heading out. And then there's not a whole lot going on in here. Of course, we got Bob. He's coming with us today. Can't leave him alone. But yeah, so we'll just keep cruising along. We'll get set up here in a little bit and show you guys around the pickup. Yeah, talk to you a bit.
We run away to get us up when we're low. Just chase the waves, we'll make it up as we go. If you're heavy, I'll show you where to go. Won't you set free?
Hey everyone, so we just got set up. I'm out just barely into Utah, just kind of barely on the southern border of Idaho, maybe like, I don't know, 10 miles across the border. But anyway, I got this all set up. I want to show you guys around, do a little walk around. There she is back there. She's still getting over that wrap, looks good. And then there's Bob. You'll probably hear him running around a little bit. But anyway, I gotta throw some big shout outs though. Wicked Metalworks, he did all the fab work, all the drawer systems, and the water tank, the air compressor. He does some killer work, and he doesn't charge a whole lot. He's affordable. You know, he does some pretty epic work, and he's reasonable. And you know, you come up with it, you imagine it, dream it, whatever. He can build it for you. There's Bob. Can't miss him. And then Premium Car Wraps in Twin Falls, Idaho. They did a killer job. I had this idea in my head of this camo, and camo, man, it's hit or miss. Sometimes it looks really good, sometimes it looks terrible. And so I went over to Nephi and Jonathan Lopez over there and kind of gave them the idea that I had in my head, and they ran with it, and man, they did a killer job. I don't know if you can see it back there. It looks good. I love it. And then especially my wife, you know, for supporting me through this whole thing. You know, building an Overlander, it was time consuming and there was some money spent, but you know, she loves this stuff just as much as I do, and I'm kind of blessed to have that. The only problem is now she has a Jeep and she wants to build it, so now we got two of them. But anyway, I'm going to support her through that, because nothing cooler than having a wife that likes to do this stuff. And yeah, so the whole premise behind the Dakota build was, you know, you see a lot of really built Tacomas and 4Runners and FJ Cruisers and Gladiators and Rubicons and whatever. You know, they're badass, and I'm not gonna lie, if I had an unlimited budget, I'd go buy me a brand new TRD Pro brand new Rubicon Gladiator diesel or whatever. But I feel like a lot of people, that's kind of hard to reach. That some of those builds, just buying the Jeep, 70 grand plus, doing all the drawer work. If you do like one of the higher end pre-made drawer systems, those aren't cheap either. And anyway, I wanted to prove that you could build an effective, useful, and pretty much badass overlander on a budget. And so that's what this is. I found Josh with Wicked Metalworks. He's a local fabricator. He doesn't charge a whole hell of a lot, and he works with whatever idea I come up with. And if something isn't working right, he makes it work. And I've never broken something that guy has built. He is impressive. And then like Nappy and Jonathan, the wrap was maybe not necessary, but it came out great. And they didn't charge me a whole hell of a lot for as much time as they spent on this thing. And I was a little demanding. I was kind of in time crunch, wanted to get it back. I was super stoked. I have that problem. I get super stoked about something and then I get antsy. But anyway, let's start doing this walk around, and I'll see if I can't flip this thing around. Now, I'm gonna try and do this kind of like one take style, so if I screw up, I'm sorry. I'll do my best. But here we go. I'll flip this around. Anyway, here she is. So and I'm really sorry about that wind if it's screwing with the audio. Not sure what to do about it. Tried parking in some trees, but it doesn't seem to be helping. But anyway, so it's a 2002 Dodge Dakota. It had 113,000 miles when I bought it. I paid $5 grand for it. It had the topper already with it. It's got the 5.9, of course, four-wheel drive. The lift was on it when I got it, and I don't know what kind of lift it is. It's just probably a budget, like, spacer lift. There's a little block in the back and spacer in the front and stuff. But and then the wheels, they came with a truck too. I'm not sure which brand they are. They were aluminum. Of course, with the wrap, the aluminum would look really funny. And I looked really hard trying to find a set of black wheels for this, and I had no luck trying to find a set of black wheels that I liked enough to spend that kind of much money on. Anyway, I went down to Ace's Hardware, just got some black Plastidip, and honestly, you almost can't tell they're just Plastidip wheels. Cost $40, and I think they look good. I don't know about any of you guys, but I think they look pretty good for just Plastidip wheels, and look super good with the wrap and everything. The tent, it's a Smitty built. It's one of their first generation rooftop tents. I found it used from a family that outgrew it. It was on Facebook Marketplace, and I paid like $600 for it. And I tell you what, I've spent a lot of nights in that tent, and with high wind, cold, whatever, it's a nice tent for $600. I liked it. I like it a lot. And we'll go up to the front. The back's gonna take a while, so we'll just start with the easy stuff. The front, I just found some lights on Amazon. They're black, kind of go with it. Go with the wrap a lot better, I think. And the bumper is just Plastidip for now. Josh Lee at Wicked Metalworks, he's planning on building me a bumper. He's just in the process of moving shop, so he's kind of busy. But yeah, so the lights, I would have liked something a little better quality, but there's not a lot of aftermarket support for these Dakotas, so kind of went with what I found. But I mean, they were pretty cheap. They're like 100 and something bucks for them. Right. Anyway, so we'll walk around the back and go to the business of this truck, where all the magic happens. But this table is a GCI. It's just a little aluminum folding table. I love that thing. It's super light. It folds up really quick. And then the chair is just a cheap Walmart folding chair. And I mean, I never see a problem with them. They work good for me. But anyway, here's the drawer system, all built by Wicked Metalworks, Josh Lee and his guys. They did a killer job on this. This is another one, just an idea in my head, and Josh made it come to life, and it turned out awesome. So we got right here, got the cutting board, and then I'll turn that down a little bit. Underneath we just got the storage for stuff to cook, sauces and whatever. And then the good old faithful Coleman grill, good old reliable, never have an issue with this bad boy. And it's kind of nice because Josh did this for me. He made this, or bent this just with a little pair of tubing benders so I could fit this in here full time. Got storage for my propane, and then all my cooking stuff, and then just some chips and whatever. And I always leave a little bit of food in here just in case I get a wild hair and want to go out. And then this drawer, I just keep all my tools and like recovery gear, some snacks and stuff. And then on the note of recovery gear, my buddy Alan Clausen with Yankum Ropes, I was talking to him and met him yesterday, and he said, hey, why don't you swing by the shop tomorrow? And so I did. He made me a killer deal on a set of a snatch rope, or a kinetic rope, and then 2 soft shackles, and then, I don't know if you can see down there, but the hitch receiver, the anchor point or toe point. That thing's pretty awesome. Alan's a good dude. If anyone's needing any recovery gear, make sure you go look up yankumropes.com, hit him up. Anyway, so then here's our fridge. Fridge is another Amazon buy. It's an Alpacool. You can see the name right there. That thing works awesome. Got it for like $200 or something like that, or $250, something around there. And thing works awesome. Had it for a few years. Never really had an issue with it. Out on the trail and have ice cold tea and beer or whatever. It's nice to have. And then got the drawer slides on there. Blanket. I'm a trucker, so I always keep an extra blanket just in case I get cold. Then got the heater and the backpack and the toilet back there, of course. This thing I got, we were on vacation, found it at a gift shop, and works great as like a mobile dog bed for Bob and Biscuit, our little chihuahua, when we're out camping. And yeah, let's keep going on the back for a minute. But anyway, so here's kind of where everything starts. Sorry about the lighting. This is like the power distribution, where there's actually a fuse panel in here in this little cubby. I won't pull it all the way out, but I'll just show you. This pops out and I have storage back there. We have another little cubby up there that you can't really see. Another cubby back there for just place to put stuff if we're sleeping back there. And then another cubby over there. I'll show you that in a minute. But we have this top one for those LED lights. And then turn that one off. This one is for a water pump. We got a 16-gallon water tank underneath, and so we have 35 psi pump to run the hose, and I tell you what, it works pretty badass. And afterthought, it was kind of on accident, the exhaust had actually broken off just past the muffler. It's just old, and the exhaust was like super old and rusted, and it broke off like just behind the muffler. And the water tank is where the spare tire would go. Another thing, we're gonna build a spare tire carrier bumper, just haven't got to that yet. But the water tank is right where the spare tire would go, so where the exhaust broke off at, the exhaust is pretty much hitting the water tank. So by the time you get to camp or wherever you're gonna park for the night, you got hot water to shower with or do dishes with. It's an afterthought, kind of redneck water heater, but hey, why not? It works pretty good. But anyway, sorry changing the topic, but we'll go back and show you some more of this. We'll flip this around. There we go. Okay, so I showed you guys the water. And then this third one is the fridge. And you hear it turn on. And this fourth one, turn the fridge back off. This fourth one, turn that on, and it powers my USB, tells me how much battery I have and everything. That whole setup works pretty awesome. Like to charge like my camera gear and stuff back here. It's nice, I can just leave stuff back here while we're driving down the road and it charges. But anyway, so what else? The rack. I get a lot of questions about this rack. So of course, our Trasharoo, our Coyote Works Trasharoo. I love watching Coyote Works, and so I tried to support him a little bit. Get some of his merch. I got this through Lolo Overland. They have a pretty awesome selection of Overland gear, so I like to support them right there. But anyway, so this rack is custom built by Josh. He did the roof rack originally, was on my Grand Cherokee. He built it for the Grand Cherokee originally, but then we got this Dakota and realized that I wanted it to go on here, so then he cut the feet off of the rack and then built these feet to mount to the bed. So it's basically like a ladder rack. In fact, you could probably get a ladder rack and do pretty much the same thing, but he built this for me. And then after he built the rack, and this is how most things go with Josh, like he'll build one thing for me and then we just keep adding stuff to it. But anyway, so he built the shovel and axe mount. Shovel comes in handy. And then the awning mount stuff up there, I bought that from Napa for $100. $100 is pretty cheap for an awning. And first time I went to use it, I broke it. I don't know if that was me or the awning or what, but I don't know. I got another one ordered. I'll give it a second chance, see how it goes. And we'll see if the next one works, but I'm not sure if I'm missing anything. There's my Instagram. You could go follow me on there. I sure would appreciate it. But yeah, I think we pretty much got it. I'm doing my best with the sunlight, but okay. Yeah, I think we pretty much got it. But yeah, so you know, I was mentioning the prices of stuff, not to brag or anything, but just to explain that you don't need a ton of money to do this stuff. And I know a lot of influencers say that, but then they're using like, you know, expensive lights and expensive rooftop tents and stuff. I found this one used, and honestly, with this setup, I could go without if I really had to. Like, you know, I could sleep back there. My girls have sleep back there. They're smaller, they fit easier. But you really don't need a ton of money. Go find a used pickup somewhere, preferably something with some low miles, and then just go out, throw a tent in the back of it, and go explore. You know, there's no reason to not be out here. Anyway, I hope that all made sense. I did my best to do this walk around. I appreciate you guys hanging in there, sticking with me if you did. Anyway, yeah, so go, you know, like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Be doing a lot more adventures here pretty quick. Going to Montana next Thursday, and then meeting up with Dirt Lifestyle, and I'm one of his Patreon members, so being a part of that Patreon, you get to go on his little overland trip in Montana, so I'm pretty stoked about that. Make sure you go watch his stuff too. He has a lot of great content. Yeah. Anyway, well, I appreciate you guys watching. I hope I didn't bore you too much. Yeah, so remember, motor transportation, it's not important, but adventure, it's necessary. So get out there and explore. Thanks, guys.
Just chase the waves. We'll make it up as we go. If you I won't let it hold me down.